How's everyone doing? You're right. Really excited to do this live stream. This will be a two-in-one. This will be a YouTube video and a live stream. So, depending on how many people come on, I will answer questions and I will help all of you to build confidence to the best of my ability. But I'll also make a video now, and I've got a pen here. There's a couple of things I might need to note down. There's a few things I don't want to forget, so I'm just going to quickly bullet point. So the first one is I want to talk about the Fearless Social event, which went really well today, and I'm really pleased, really grateful for everyone coming down. I always really appreciate people coming down. We had quite a small group again, but I really enjoyed it. And the thing that makes me happy is that the guys that are coming are progressing. They're not getting worse, they're getting better. They're getting less anxious, they're getting more confident, more social. And that's what it really comes down to. So the Fearless event, I'll talk about that, some things I learned. The upcoming Fearless event, I've got another date, so I'll make a note of that. It's going to be March the 13th is the next one. I want to also talk to you guys about my paid weekend confidence program, which is running on, make a note of this, March the 26th and the 27th. So I'll explain that today. And appreciate you guys as always for coming on, supporting the channel. And more importantly, I want to teach the lesson today. I love this. I'm going to make about 10 videos on this subject. And I promise you, if you take this advice that I'm going to give you and you apply it long term, because it's not a quick fix, you're going to become super confident. So just make a note of that. That's the perfect word, super confident. So anyone, any guy who's suffering with social anxiety right now, you have to, in my opinion, you have to stay on this live stream. Like, you have to hear me out. You have to hear this experience. If you're someone who's got social anxiety and you want to overcome it, and you want to stop getting awkward in social situations and nervous and panicking, and you want to overcome that, you have to stay on this live stream. Please share it with anyone, friends that you know that suffer with anxiety, because it will really help them. So we're going to get into that, and just make a note of Q&A as well. As always, I'll do a Q&A, answer some other questions. So I think that's it. These are the main things I want to cover today. Let me just make sure the chat's working. Any questions you got, right, put them in this box. I always do my little check, because sometimes on YouTube, when people post questions, it doesn't work. It doesn't come up. So I don't want people writing questions and I can't see them. I'd rather know as quick as possible that the chat's working. So if one of you could do me a favor and just I've wrote Become Fearless there. You can obviously see that. If you can just comment here where you're from, or just say hello, I know the chat's working, and I can kind of get peace of mind and get on with the talk and the teaching. So I'll just give you like 10 seconds if someone can write that. Just get my notes here. So Q&A, Fearless event, upcoming Fearless event, weekend confidence program, super confident. The point I wanted to teach and elaborate on today. Okay. Oh, appreciate that, Bob. Howdy. Nice one. Okay. So I'm really going to cover today about getting awkward in social situations, as I know that that's all of your fears, most of you, right? That was a big fear that I had. And all the clients, most of the clients that I've worked with over the years, and the ones I'm working with at the moment, they really have a bad fear of this. They really get scared of getting awkward in social situations in front of people. A lot of them, obviously, until they do my coaching or they take the advice, they avoid social situations, because I did this for years, so I really understand it from suffering with it as well and getting over it. A lot of people will do that. They just won't go into social situations unless they really have to. And that really causes a lot of depression, anxiety. If it's left for many years, it can even go on to mental health problems and get even worse. So I do the best I can to prevent that from happening from anybody who follows my work. How are all of you doing? All right, how are you getting on? Just off topic, by the way, I don't want to go too off topic, but Did anybody see the Amir Khan Kell Brook fight? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. Really good fight. I was a bit disappointed that it got stopped in round 6, but looking back now, it needed to get stopped because Khan could have got hurt. But yeah, these guys are warriors. You know what I mean? Both had good careers, and I enjoyed the fight. So I don't know if any of you seen the boxing yesterday. Right. Okay. Oh goodness. All right. Let me just get straight into the video. If you've got any questions throughout, put your questions in, and I will answer them. Good fight. Amir had a good. Yeah. I didn't expect it. If I'm being honest, I picked Khan to win. I was wrong. I thought Khan would beat Brook with the hand speed, but Brook, brilliant performance from Brook. But Khan, he showed a lot of heart. He's tough, and he didn't go down. So they're both world champions. They both made a lot of money. They both achieved great things. So there's no shame in neither of them losing. But yeah, I enjoyed the fight. It was good. It was fun. It was exciting, and it probably went better than I expected. I thought the fight would be over in maybe 2-3 rounds. I thought Khan would. I thought he'd stop Brook. I thought he would knock him out. But that's it. With boxing, you never know. Anyway, back to the topic. I don't want to talk too much about boxing on this because that's not what today is about. So I know a lot of you are going to watch this later on, and I've got to remember that it's not just people that are live on the stream. People will come back to this later on. They might not see this now. Right. So a lot of people with social anxiety, they make the mistake of thinking that they can never get confident with people. And the reason why they think this is because the social anxiety is really, it can make life really difficult in social situations, right? It's an intense feeling. It's not a nice feeling. Like when you're suffering with anxiety around people and you get nervous and you get shy and you get awkward, it's not a nice feeling. It's not a pleasant feeling. It really isn't. And if you've grown up through, if you've grown up many years of your life struggling socially and getting awkward, you carry those bad memories from childhood, from school. It could be situations with family gatherings. It could be with girls. It could be a combination of, all of these bad experiences with people. And I don't necessarily mean bad experiences in people being nasty to you or bullying you. It can be that, but maybe just people being nice, but you get awkward in situations and then you feel bad about that. You feel embarrassed, you feel ashamed, and that kind of dents your confidence. And then you kind of take it upon yourself to think, you know what, I'm never going to change. Because if you get awkward, let's say you get awkward 10 or 20 times in your life throughout 15, 20 years. So let's just say in your memory, you can remember about 10 or 15 times where you got awkward in a social situation. Then you start thinking about that, and you start creating an identity around that, and you have it in your head that I'm a person who's awkward. So you don't really want to relive those experiences again. So rather than risk getting awkward and going on dates or coming to my Fearless event or going to job interviews or just coming outside of your comfort zone more, or doing live streams, talks, going to meet up groups, instead of pushing yourself to talk to people more and to stay in social situations longer, because a lot of people will exit a conversation if they feel themselves getting nervous or awkward or running out of things to say. Rather than just work through it and push through it, they will exit and say, okay, see you tomorrow, or bye. And I used to do that. So I speak from experience, right? But in order to get super confident, you've got to keep pushing yourself to go out and socialize regularly. And what happens when you do that? This is generally the pattern in what happens. This is what happened to me, guys. This is what I experienced. It was really negative, and then it got really positive. And I went from being very insecure, not having any confidence. I wasn't a confident person at all years ago. But because I stuck at it and I figured out what I want to share with you today, I didn't know this. It's kind of an accident or trial and error. I got so down. I got so sick and tired of being down all the time and always worrying about getting nervous around people and awkward. I got so sick of being in that point. There was nowhere else to go. I thought I have to keep going, even though I don't want to keep going, even though I feel like quitting. Because if you fail at something 15, 20 times, it's just human logic to think, might as well, I've got to quit now. But I got to a point where I couldn't quit anymore. Quitting wasn't an option because that meant if I quit, I've got to live the rest of my life feeling the way I'm feeling. And I don't like the way I feel. I don't like being like this and feeling like this. I don't like having this fear dominate me. So the dominating fear is I'm scared to go into social situations with people in case I get awkward in front of them. And I just had enough of it because it's like being in a prison. When you've got a fear in your life that's stopping you from being happy and doing so many things, it starts getting to you. And there's two things you can do. You can do nothing at all, which unfortunately a lot of people choose to do that because it's easier initially, or you can fight the fear. So what happens is when you keep putting yourself in social situations and you don't take long breaks, you get better. So I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying that. But let's say, for example, like I'm working with some new clients at the moment, and I won't say any names, right? Just to keep things people's information private, right? Clients who might just want to keep it private. I'm working with a guy on a 6 weeks program. The first time I worked with him, he's pretty anxious. He's pretty anxious around me. He's pretty anxious around everybody, actually. But after working with him for 6 weeks, he's completely different now. He's completely changed. He's so much more confident because he just kept coming to the sessions. He basically did 6 sessions with me. Does that make sense, guys? I'm not saying that you've got to do sessions with me to improve, even though that will be true. Because obviously not everybody's going to be able to do my coaching. There's going to be some logistical reasons. But that's not my point. My point is, if you keep showing up and going through those awkward situations and not letting those awkward moments get you down and depressed and make you quit, you start getting more confident. It gets easier. And that just goes for every social situation. But, it's quite easy for me to say these things because I've done it. And it's easy to say because on a practical level, but to actually do it and keep doing it, it's not that easy. And some people might say, well, why isn't it easy when the actual advice is quite straightforward? Because it takes courage, it takes strength, it takes discipline, it takes a lot of mental and emotional toughness, and it's not a nice experience that you got to go through in those moments. But like I said, if you keep going through those situations, eventually you get used to it. You get used to nerves, you get used to adrenaline, you get used to that social discomfort, and eventually it starts to turn to the opposite of awkwardness. And I guess there might not be an exact word. Maybe you guys can help me out here. But the opposite of being awkward around people is not being awkward, being relaxed around people. So when you get that confirmation through experience, sorry, I don't want to overdo this. I'm just trying to make it as easy as I can. So let me just give you an analogy. So let's say the first time I do a live stream, I'm really awkward, right? Because it's my first time and I'm a sufferer of anxiety and I worry about what people think and I don't know what to say and I'm just self-conscious. So the first time I do a live stream, I'm very awkward. Everybody sees it. I know I'm awkward. I come away from the live stream and I feel bad about myself because I'm worried about other people judging me and I wasn't able to be confident. So if I do another live stream a week after, the second one, I'm going to be awkward again because I'm still inexperienced. But if I do a third live stream, I'm going to be a little bit better than the first one. Why is that? Well, because I got the experience from the first and the second one that carries into the third. Now, if I do another one, a fourth one, and now if I do 10 live streams, on the 10th one, it clicks. Something clicks. And guess what happens? All of a sudden, I find my confidence in myself. The anxiety is not winning anymore because 10 experiences, let's just say 9 go bad. Okay, I can live with that. 9 go bad, but on the 10th one, it goes well. And that's basically the simplicity of what I'm teaching today and explaining to sufferers of social anxiety. And I know a lot of them don't know that. And the reason they don't know that, it's not because they're not intelligent. It's not that. It's because they never push themselves further enough, like I did, like many of my successful clients did. And some of you did, right? And I want them to do that. I want them to do that for themselves so they can experience being super confident, because it's a wonderful feeling. There's not many feelings that are better in this world than when you go from being awkward, scared, nervous, not confident around people, and you keep making mistakes, and then you get it right and you start permanently being more confident around people. Appreciate that, man. I like that. I'm here for the classic 14, 15 round boxing fight of my life. Great. I like that, using boxing analogies. I'm awkward, but my anxiety isn't that bad anymore. Good. Just my social skills are crap due to avoiding socializing for so long. Okay, this applies to you as well. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Your social skills get better as you get less awkward. Well, I don't agree on you on that, Salvatore, because you just said it's easy being confident if you're tall and good looking, but for the opposite ones, well, that's not entirely true. That's a generalization. I appreciate what you're saying, because I was tall my whole life. I'm not sitting here going, look at me, I'm so good looking, but I wasn't bad looking. People used to tell me I'm a pretty good looking guy, but I was a terrified person. I couldn't get anywhere in life. So being tall never helped me. And being decent looking. I mean, I'm much better looking now because I've worked at it and I feel good about myself. When I was younger, I always thought I was pretty ugly. I didn't feel good about myself because of having low confidence. So it certainly didn't give me an advantage. What worked for me was working hard. And I've worked with many clients over the years, not to generalize, but I worked with some guys that are, a lot better looking than me, maybe, but it didn't help them, because the anxiety doesn't say, oh, guess what? He's good looking, so we won't make him anxious. He's not as good looking, we'll make him anxious. It don't go like that. Thank God it isn't like that, right? So there's hope for everyone. But I see your point. I appreciate what you're saying. If you're talking about a different area of life, maybe if you're talking about modeling, yeah, if someone is more stereotypically better looking and taller, then they might get a modeling job. I won't be hired as a model, right? And I don't want to be personally, nothing against modeling. I'm just making a point of saying. So yeah, there's certain advantages in our society for people that might be better looking, but not in all areas of life, and certainly not in the area that we're talking about today and I'm passionate about, which is getting over anxiety, fear, social anxiety. It comes down to how hard a person's willing to work, how much they're willing to socialize. Guys, hit that like button if you enjoy this. You're getting a lot of value from it. And today, I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about the benefits of you going through awkwardness, because a lot of people who get awkward and who are afraid of it, they think they're going to overcome it with a magic pill, and this doesn't exist. I don't know about it. Certainly not one on the market. In my experience, it's going through awkwardness that enables you to become less awkward, or not awkward at all, or confident. So the only reason I can talk like this on these streams, guys, is because I'm applying. I applied what I'm teaching today, because I wasn't naturally this good at talking. It didn't come natural to me. It was absolutely not natural. I was very shy. And if you put me on an interview or on a first date or in front of a camera, I'm talking about 15 years ago, I would have fell apart with nerves. I would have been stuttering. I couldn't even have said one sentence, let alone speak for 20 minutes, half an hour. So anyone can do it. I know anyone can do it because I know I did it. And I know a normal guy, didn't have every single advantage, but I worked hard at it. So those who work hard will usually get further than people that are kind of gifted and talented to begin with. So hard work will always, in most cases, I'm not saying in every situation, because there are some people that are born and they're really talented and they're just the best at what they do. Usually in sports like basketball, football, but we're not really talking about that area today. We're talking about social confidence and getting more, getting better at relaxing in social situations and talking to people. So try it for yourself. See how it works, because it works for me. It's worked for so many people that I work with. I follow you for more than 10 years anyway. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I know you. I know your name well. So I appreciate that. That's a good point, Fearless, and that's something I try and explain to people. You want to get out of like too much self-pity and feeling sorry for yourself. It's good to be compassionate towards yourself, definitely, and it's good to get the help. But if you just feel sorry for yourself, then you ain't really gonna improve. So there's a few more things that I want to point out and explain. Now, obviously, there's gonna be days where you're going to be awkward and nervous around people. I've had so many of them, too many to mention, right? You're going to get those days, and that's called life. But how you deal with those days and how you react is going to determine how confident you're going to become. So basically, it's basically about this, guys. If you're willing to have some really shitty days and some social situations and interactions that don't go the way you want them to, and you're awkward, if you're willing to go through that 10 times, you're gonna do great later on. You really are, And I always come back to the first public talk I ever did. It couldn't have gone any worse if I tried. Like, my worst nightmare came true when I first started coaching. I did my first ever presentation in front of a group of people, about 30 people, if I can remember, something around that. I hired out a room, a comedy room. I had a stage, I had a presentation ready. And I'd never, ever done a talk like this before. Obviously, I'd done talks at school and I got nervous, but that was a bit different. And my worst nightmare at that time, this is about 10 years ago, 2012. So 10 years, I think. My worst nightmare was, in my head, I was saying, please don't get awkward. Please don't start stuttering. Please don't panic in front of everyone. Don't embarrass myself. But that's what happened. It happened due to inexperience. The nerves got the better of me. But that was the best thing that happened to me, because that made me work harder, and that made me go, right, now I'm all in. I can't accept this. Like, I can't change that today I failed, but I'm going to get better. And I kept doing public talks and I became excellent, right? I became brilliant because I went, and after that one that went wrong, for a period of my life, for the next 6 months or a year, I was doing public talks every single month, sometimes 4 times a week. And it didn't come easy for me. So I can relate to people that they don't learn quick. I'm not a quick learner either, but I'm a hard worker. And I've always made up for my lack of, my lack of ability to learn quickly, where some people do learn quicker. I've had some clients, they just learn quick. They just get it. They get it straight away. But I was never really like that, and I had to accept that and find another way around it, which was hard work. I've always found it quite easy to work 10 times as hard as the next person, the average person, in order to get to where I want to get to. That's just what helped for me. So on the 10th talk, I wasn't stuttering. I was relaxed. I was confident. Of course, I felt nervous. It's normal before the talks. I had that anxiety, the adrenaline, which anyone would get. Amir Khan and Kell Brook would have had massive adrenaline going out to their fights. But these guys are professional. They know how to handle it. So I got better and better each time. So I did that in every area. I did it in dating. My first dates, totally nervous. My second, third, fourth, took me ages. Took me about 15 dates until I could just get relaxed around women and be myself and be confident. So it's an inspiring message. It's basically saying that, if you're willing to be a bit patient, tough it out, go through these uncomfortable things. And that's what the guys done today. The guys were great that came down to my Fearless event. I think everyone who came, except for one person who I know well, everyone who came has been to about 4 Fearless events. And I can honestly tell you, because I'm observant, they have improved since coming to 4 Fearless events. They put that work in. They were definitely less awkward. They were more conversational, more confident. Every single one of them, everybody did great. And that's because they're applying what I'm sharing today. So I wish more of you, I just want more of you to get this, because it really changed my life. And it's something that a lot of people don't know. And it's a shame, it's sad. Because I grew up most of my life thinking that if you're not confident, there's nothing you can do about it. If you're awkward, you're always going to be that way. I was wrong, because people have told me these things, negative people, things that are on the TV, magazines, teachers at school, friends, sometimes I wouldn't say actually, I wouldn't say family members, but even sometimes family, their own ignorance, they can easily judge you and say, well, that's just the way you are. You can't change that. You've always been like that. No, that's not true. That's definitely not true. I've changed myself so much in a positive way. What's my opinion on Match online dating? I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I don't really have an opinion on it. It doesn't really bother me. So that's it. That's my opinion. I don't really have an opinion on it. Yeah, great. Come to our events. Appreciate that. Want to have banter with people. I just can't think of anything funny to say, or I'll think of something when the moment has gone. It's like my brain is too slow or trying too hard. Yeah, that's what's happening. Exactly what you said. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but it goes back to what I said. If you keep, JB, if you keep putting yourself in that situation, even though I know it's not pleasant, you're going to get better. You're going to calm down more. You're going to get more relaxed around people, and you're going to be able to come up with some banter in that moment. But if you don't keep going through this situation, then unfortunately, it's not going to change for you. So I can't stress that enough. And I know a lot of people have a hard time hearing this. A lot of my teachings, people don't always want to hear it, because I speak the truth in this area. It's not pleasant initially, but I try and explain to people, if you go through the unpleasantries, the difficult emotions, the awkwardness, it's going to change. It's going to get better for you. And then you're going to be so pleased you did it. That's what happened to me. Can you imagine, guys, my first talk, that I failed and I got awkward and nervous? Can you imagine if I quit? I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't know all you good people. I wouldn't have helped as many people. You guys wouldn't be improving. I would have listened to the negative voice in my head, and everybody, not everyone, I'm not going to exaggerate, but a lot of people growing up told me, you're not confident, you're shy, you're poor, you're not attractive. I had all of it growing up. If I listened to those people, I wouldn't have changed in my life and met a lot of good people and met all these good clients and events. It wouldn't have happened. I'd have probably ended up like, I would have ended up mentally ill my whole life. I would have been in a terrible place in my life, and I thank God I didn't let that happen. So I like to explain this to people so they know that they can improve no matter how nervous or awkward they are. And I'll say this, and I know a lot of people, they might not believe it, right? But I know it's true if you work at it. Usually the most awkward people, the most nervous men or guys or women that are the worst to begin with, if they put effort in and work hard, they usually become the best. They do. I've seen it with clients. I've had the clients who come, they're so nervous, and it's fine. I understand. I was like that, but they stick on the programs. They invest. They do a couple of programs, maybe 6 weeks programs. Fearless event. They go out, they get the support, they keep it, and they change. Within about 1 year, they're a different person, and they're not that person anymore. They're not all awkward. They're super confident. They're more confident than, let's say, average people in society who didn't have social anxiety like I did and all you did. They didn't really have it that bad. Obviously, everyone gets a bit awkward. Everyone gets a bit of nervousness, but they didn't have the severity of what we had. They surpassed them, because those people are more satisfied. If you don't really have a major problem with your insecurities, you're going to stay where you are, which is fine. But people that have a disposition in life, who are determined to change it, and they put that work in, they go to great heights. Jamie says, hi, Johnny, I'm 27. I still struggle with social anxiety, social awkwardness. and talking to girls as I did in my teens. Why haven't I grew out of it properly? Well, um, I don't know everything about your life, but I'd say the reason is because you haven't worked at it hard enough. You haven't kept at it. But you tell me what you think the answer is. But based on what you've said, um, you haven't worked it enough, or maybe you didn't have enough support, or you didn't understand what you needed to do. So it's not too late now. 27 is still really young. Obviously, you're not really young, but you're not old. You've got a lot of years. You can make a lot of changes. You can make a lot of changes, Jamie, in the next year. I mean, by the time you're 30, you could completely change your life and everything in the next 3 years, even quicker. But you've obviously got to work at it and put the work in and go out, socialize, practice. And when I'm talking today, guys, I'm just talking like in terms of talking to people in general. I'm not being specific. So this problem that you have, the problem with talking to girls and women, it's the same problem as talking to guys, family. It's a social fear, right? It's an issue. And if you work at it in all areas, so if you talk to women, you talk to your family, you meet new people. If you keep working at it, it gets better. But you're going to have to go through. You have to go through those uncomfortable situations. You're going to have to do that quite a lot until you see some improvements. And a lot. See, I guess there's two people. There's always people who are willing to do that, and they're the people that I can always help on coaching and on these videos and live streams. But you always get people, and it's a shame because you can't force people. You've got to respect. You can't actually, you can't I can't get in someone's body and act for them. So some people are just going to choose not to do it and not practice, and they're not going to really change much. So hopefully everyone understood that. I'm trying to explain it even easier. It doesn't always come out in the way that I understand it because it's a very practical thing. It's like something that you understand by doing it. But I think I do the best I can. I think most of you will get it. I'll go over it again and I'll answer more questions. So listen, the way that you're going to become super confident with talking to people is by going through awkward social situations several times. And you might have to do that for 6 weeks. Some people might have to do it for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Depends on you. Everybody's different, right? Some people are a bit more confident than others, but everyone can succeed in this. There's no reason why everybody on this live stream today cannot become super confident if they're willing to work at it. Now, obviously, that comes down to you. Like I've done my part as a coach, as a mentor. You've got to pull your weight. You've got to go, right, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to come out. I'm going to go to Johnny's social event, or I'm going to take a program. I'm going to invest in some coaching, or I'm going to go to, go on meetup.com. They have a lot of great events, many different events. They've got speed dating, they've got social groups, they've got language groups. There's a lot of groups on that. So have a look at that site and look at any local site meetup group in your area and push yourself to go to it. Like I said before, joining the boxing gym, being around positive people, boxers, strong people, motivated people. It's going to give you confidence, definitely. How you doing, Spyron? I'm working in an ice cream shop, and I did well in my first day. I'm glad to hear that. I'm still nervous about the busy environment, I guess. This is normal, but your thoughts in this? My thoughts are great attitude. You're doing great. I'm glad that you're able to acknowledge that. It's normal. It's normal. Like your first day doing anything, you're going to be nervous. You just got to do what you're doing, do the best you can. Keep going to work. Keep working hard at what you're doing, and it's going to get better. But that's the mindset. People want it to get better first without having to go for any struggles, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's not going to happen like that. It's just not going to. It's not the truth. It ain't honest. You cannot not go through a struggle in life and then just become successful and be great and be confident. If only it was that easy, right? But then you wouldn't appreciate it. So everybody's got to go through struggles. I had to go through it. The clients that I work with on the 6 weeks confidence program, they have to go for it, and that's how they get better. You only get worse by not going out and socializing. That's the only way. So, another important thing as well, and I did this at the Fearless event, and I do it on all my coaching programs, is you've got to set goals, guys. Like within getting over your anxiety and building your confidence, you've got to have a goal. What is it you want to achieve? Why do you want to become confident? Is it because you want to get a girlfriend? Is it because you want to make friends? Is it because you want to start your own business? Is it because you want to get a job and be confident at work? You need to have a reason as to why you're going to go out and face these fears. Because if you haven't got a reason, you're not going to have any motivation. You need strong motivation in life to tackle these challenging fears, because they are challenging. They are hard, but that's what's going to make you appreciate it. That's what's going to make other people respect you and admire you. As human beings, we don't admire someone who doesn't challenge themselves. We obviously, we do admire someone being nice and kind, and you can do that anytime you want. So that's something that I admire. But when we're talking about in the domain of achievements and success and things like that, that's why we naturally gravitate towards athletes or coaches or teachers, because we admire their skill. We admire their ability to do what they do, being that we understand that it's not easy to do what they do, being that we've tried to do things in our life and we've seen and experienced how hard that is. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, getting over social anxiety, it's no different to getting over any other fear. You've got to work extremely hard. You've got to be very driven. You've got to be passionate. You've got to be willing to go through the failures. You have to be willing to not care what people think about you. You've got to you've got to go through those bad days. You've got to be strong and get through them. I mean, that's a pretty. You don't need to trust me, and I don't need you to trust me. I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous statement. I mean, listen, man. Have a great day. Well, listen, you got to keep being motivated. That's the key with it. The key is, as long as you keep working at it long term. I mean, I'm coaching a guy at the moment. The guy's pretty amazing, man. Guy's pretty awesome, because of how hard he's working and what he's willing to go through and how he's just kept turning up. And I told him, I said, "You're doing great, man." He did my 6 weeks program. He booked another 6 weeks program. He's traveling from outside London to come down. The guy's he's just changing. He's so much more confident. He's going to events. He's going to comedy events. He's going to speed dating. He's practicing at work. He's more social with me. The guy's brilliant, man. And that's what you need. Anything less, it's not going to work out. I'm sorry, I've got to be honest with people. You can't just be lazy in life. You can't be lazy with a social anxiety. You're not going to improve. You can't have this attitude that, oh yeah, well, I don't really want to go out and do much. You ain't going to get nowhere like that. And if that's what you want, then so be it. Obviously, that's your choice. But I'm only really speaking to people that are very motivated to improve their confidence, and they really want to change. They want to do something about this now, because I'm not going to waste my time with people that are lazy-minded and going to make excuses. I can't help you if you're like that. I have to respect that's where you're at. You don't want to listen to me. You got a right not to listen to me. Don't listen to me if you don't want to. But if you really want to improve at this, and you want to listen to someone who has been through what you've been through and succeeded at it and wants to help you, if you want to help yourself, then you're going to listen to my words, and you're going to go out, you're going to apply it. You're going to apply the experience that I'm sharing with you, and you're going to get your own experience with this, and you're going to get less awkward. You're going to be more confident with people and with life. See, this comes down to self-belief, because let me just explain this. Once you become confident in yourself and you're happy with who you are and you've faced your fears and you've succeeded with your goals and you're successful, you don't really care what people. Well, I don't care what people think. You only really care what people think when you haven't accomplished your goals in life. It's very easy to feel that way because you're insecure. You haven't got there yet. But when you get there, it doesn't make a difference what people can say horrible things about me, whatever. It wouldn't even touch me because I'm happy with what I've done. But when I was younger, yeah, it would bother me if someone said a horrible thing about me or didn't believe in me. And that's my story to people. You need to believe in yourself, but you're not going to believe in yourself if you don't take action and you don't go out and socialize. But the positive thing about this is there's so many good people that you meet along the way in doing this, and that helps you. You help them and they help you the same way I've helped many of you over the years, and you guys have been brilliant. Whether you've really helped me, really changed my life, to support. And the criticism has also helped me as well because I've always used it as a positive. It's never got to me. I never really value. I don't really value someone who's hateful or negative because they're in a bad place, and I can't really respect that. There's nothing for me to take from that. I just say I feel sorry for them. I pray for them. I wish them the best, even if they're throwing hate at me. I'm not going to throw it back. I'm just going to get on with my life. So this whole mindset, towards yourself changes as you start going out and facing more fears. You get stronger, you get more confident. But what I would say is, guys, I mean this kindly, man, but I'm going to be straight. Be careful about just saying, I want to do this. You have to do it. You can't, it's not enough to sit there and go, I want to change, or I want to be more confident, or I want to be more social. You can say that for 20 years and you're just going to be a broken record. You have to take action, and you don't have to do everything to climb Mount Everest in an hour, but you got to work at it a little bit at a time. You got to be patient. You got to have long-term goals. So I would say most of you, it's going to take you about 1 year to get over your anxiety if you work at it. It's going to take about a year of consistent practice if you really want to get this. If you don't do it and you stay the way you are, well, then you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. And it's not going to get better, believe me, as you get older. It's not like, oh, I'm 20, so let me just wait till I'm 30 and then all of a sudden I'm going to be more confident. It don't work like that. You got to train. You got to get out. You got to socialize. You've got to have goals in life. You've got to go towards those goals. You've got to fail. You've got to succeed. You've got to learn. You've got to communicate with people. Otherwise, you ain't going to change. But anyone can do it, really. It takes, you just got to really commit to it. Anyway, all right. So the next upcoming Fearless social event I've got, if anyone wants to come along, they do fill up fast. Let me write this down. March the 13th is the next social event. So that's the next one. I kind of do them every 3 weeks or every month, and it's great for practicing it. You meet like-minded people. We meet in person. It's nice, and we have good conversations, and the people are really nice that come. Not interested in that. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm not interested in. I've gone well past that on subscribers. And really, what you're saying it isn't true. I've got a big fan base. I've all had for many years, but I don't really care about who's got bigger than me. I don't compare myself to anyone. I'm happy with what I'm doing. So that's the least of my concerns. So yeah, it really comes down to heart. You got to be like a fighter. You really do. You got to be a fighter in terms of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, getting over your fears, and then you meet good people, and not caring about what other people think. is a big part of this. So, that's the main thing. But like I said, within that one practice, you're gonna have to work really hard, and that's the thing today, with a lot of people, a lot of guys, they don't want to work hard, and that's why they don't get nowhere. And if you look at any successful person, they're not there by chance or coincidence. They're there because they worked hard, and that's how I became successful in all the areas of my life where I wanted to succeed, and changing people's lives, helping them through confidence coaching is working hard, being determined. And do you know what? Personally, for me and my clients that get really well at this, it's a lot of fun. Once you start getting it and you don't care about what other people think, and you're living on your terms, you're living from your values, and you're being a positive person, you're treating people how you want to be treated, and you're not a negative person, you really enjoy life. And then it gets better and better and better. And once you're successful, you look back on all of the challenging times you had and you're grateful for them because you learn. And if it wasn't for those failures and awkward moments and disappointments or people criticizing you, you wouldn't be where you are. So, it is a journey. It is something that is a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. But if you start from today, you're going to be further ahead tomorrow. Next week, you're going to be better. And another key thing is not to compare yourself to other people. That's a big mistake that a lot of people do. A lot of people do this on this channel. It's human nature until you get past it. If you compare yourself to other people, you'll always be miserable. There's always someone better, bigger, better looking, richer. But if you stop comparing yourself to others and you compare yourself to who you are today and how you're improving the next day, never gets boring. You never get jealous. You'll actually be happy for other people to be successful. You won't be vengeful. You won't be bitter. You won't be envious of other people because you'll be happy in your life. And that's really what it comes down to. Right. So just to let you know, I've got a paid program, which is on March the 26th and the 27th. This is for 4 students, right? I got a couple of places. Someone signed up already. This is a weekend confidence program for guys who want to get more confident with speaking to people. So over the weekend, we practice talking to people, meeting new people, having conversations, and it's life-changing and it's a lot of fun. And you're going to get outside your comfort zone. And the great thing is you're going to come out of the house, you're going to spend the whole weekend with me and a group of positive students. You're going to have that support. So if any of you are interested in applying for that, here's the place to apply, my email address. And this is brilliant because it's in person. You're meeting people in real life. It's not virtual reality. And it's a weekend. It's 5 hours on Saturday, 5 hours on Sunday. It's 10 hours in total. It's going to be a maximum of 4 students, including me will be 5. So I won't take any more than 4 on. And we're going to, we're going to have a lot of social practice and get over a lot of fears and build a lot of confidence. It's brilliant. I've run a lot of these programs in the past. They're very successful. That's good, Chris. Yeah, like I said, you just got to keep pushing yourself. You got to keep working hard. All right, guys, listen, I really enjoyed the stream. Thanks for coming on. That will be it today. I've said that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Apply that. So I'll just end on that. So what you want to do is, let me just explain the mindset. Every time you get awkward in a social situation, instead of saying I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I'm an embarrassment, I'm awkward, I'm always going to be like that, stop that conversation and say, hang on a minute, this is good, because this is what Johnny had to go through to become successful. If I keep going, it's going to get better for me. And just try and be a little bit better every time. If you're in a social situation, see, most social situations that you're in your life every day, they're quite repetitive. They're situations that you can go into the next day. So just try and be a little bit better next time. Try to relax more. Try to hold eye contact. Try to speak. Try to enjoy it. Try to communicate with the person. Try to listen more. And when you focus on just trying to be a little bit better next time, you're not going to focus on the negatives. Oh, it went wrong. Oh, it went awkward. Oh, I'm such a terrible person. Oh, I'm always like this. Oh, I've always been like this. You start going, actually, I'm going to be better. I'm going to get there. I'm a little bit better this time. And before you know it, people won't recognize you. You'll be so confident. That's what happened to me. Yeah, and then by then, respectfully, I didn't really care what people thought about me. I didn't really care if they thought I'm confident, I'm great, I'm not great, because I liked who I was. I was confident. I was happy where I got to. So you really, and I enjoyed, you enjoy going out and meeting other people, because really it's not all doom and gloom. Socializing should be fun. Socializing should be interesting, spontaneous. That's really what you want to get to, and you want to connect with the right people. You want to find people that you like, that have got the same values that you've got. So there's so much fun that you can have within doing all this, and you can make it creative. And obviously, it's like a video game. Once you get more confident in social situations, then you can go on and do bigger things. You can go and do public speaking. One of my clients has jumped out of an airplane, faced his fear. You can push yourself, and you can face fears in other areas. But if you don't sort this out now or soon, unfortunately, you're not going to be living your dreams. You're just going to be held back. You're going to be in the same place that you are right now in 2023. Don't let that happen. Take my words, apply the information, go out, push yourself, don't give up, learn, be positive, and treat people how you want to be treated, and watch how much more confident you're going to be. Practice it. Every time I failed in my life, I always celebrated. Yes, I failed. Failure equals success. I'm going to be better the next time. Now I'm not scared of failure, because if you failed 100 times, you don't care anymore. You're not scared of it. But people that are so scared of failing, so careful, they don't get over it. They're in prison, because they're imprisoned by a fear of failing, and they never succeed. So every successful person has mastered the art of not letting failure defeat them. Criticism, trolling, online trolling, negative people, miserable people, it doesn't break them. And that's why they get into a good place, and they surround themselves with like-minded people. So, you've got to go through it, and you've got to grow through it. So you can't just keep sitting here going, well, I'm not going to go and socialize with that person in case I get awkward, because then you're not going to change. You've got to change the mindset and say, I've got it. Who cares if I get awkward? I'll be better the next time. So the reason why I'm repeating this, and I'm going on a bit of a tangent, because it's a message that I need to say it so it gets through to your head, gets into your heart, and you go, he's right. I need to go and do this. But listen, guys, my life's great. I got myself really confident. So, you not doing it isn't going to change my life. But in all honesty, I would be happy knowing that I've helped you to change your life, if that makes sense. So, it comes down to your decision. You've got to make the decision. Your parents can't do it for you. Society can't do it. I can't do it for you alone. You've got to make the effort. And then obviously, any support from parents or friends, or your friends or coach, is going to make a difference. It's a working relationship. You've got to put the effort in, and then you're going to see results. But yeah, you can't just go, well, I socialized for 1 week, why aren't I changing? It's not enough. It's not enough. 1 year practice to really change. 6 weeks of my coaching, you're gonna get massive amounts of confidence. 1 year of my coaching, you'll be able to do pretty much anything: public speaking, dating, business, selling, talking on YouTube, job interviews. There's nothing you really couldn't do if you did a year of my coaching. So if anyone's interested in my 1 year coaching program, send me an email. Or if you don't want to commit to 1 year, I do 6 weeks. If you can't commit to 6 weeks, you can get down to the minimum. I do a 2-hour session. I do that online or in person, depending on what would work. So you have all the tools out there. You have the coaching, you have the free videos, you can do paid coaching, you can take the information for free now, you can go and apply it. You've got fearless groups, social groups, you've got other groups all around the world. No excuses, really. Successful people don't make excuses. They find a way, all right? I'll leave you with that. Appreciate you coming on, Fearless.